All right, we have identifying whether solutions are real or unreal. And I can use a discriminant. Well, to use a discriminant, you got to know what it is. And the discriminant, like a lot of things, comes out of the quadratic formula. This quadratic formula, because I'm a beautiful singer, I'm going to sing it for you. X is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that is a way that works every single time to find solutions to a quadratic equation. And its standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. And from that form we get our a, b, and c values. But there is something in there underneath the radical, underneath this portion right here, b squared minus 4ac, which is called the discriminant. So I'm going to put it over here. There's a square root. So the discriminant's under here. So the discriminant is 0, right? It's greater than 0. There's a positive number under here, like 16, right? Remember, there's a plus or minus in front, right there. So if I have plus or minus square root of 16, it's positive or negative 4, giving me 2 real solutions. What if it's equals 0? What if I have one here that says 0? Square root of 0 is just 0, and then the positive or negative doesn't really matter because there is no positive or negative 0, right? So that is a neutral. All right, and it gives us one real solution. What if it's negative? What if I have positive or negative square root of, I don't know, let's say negative 4. We can see it as positive or negative 2i, right? That's negative. And you could either say 0 real, because sometimes it's important to say 0 real, or we can say 2 imaginary. You know, sometimes it's important to kind of recognize we have imaginary solutions. So again, positive, if you think about where it is, it really makes sense, right? A positive number like this, positive or negative square root of 9, it's going to give me 2 real answers. 0 is going to give me 1 real answers, and imaginary is going to give me 2 imaginary or 0 real. All right. So here we go. All of these are just saying use a discriminant. Not saying anything else. It's not saying give me a solution. It's saying use a discriminant to find out if there's a real solution. So a ball's thrown into the air with an initial velocity of 14. I'm just going to point out that that 14 is right there. From initial height of 2, I'm going to point out that that 2 is right there. And the height in meters is given by this equation. This would be a negative 16. It's in feet, so we're talking about meters right now. Does the ball reach 12? So the question is, does it get this high? Will the output of the height right there ever equal 12? If I got negative 4.9 t squared plus 14t plus 2. Well, first we got to stick it in standard form. So we subtract 12 from each side. And I get 0 equals negative 4.9 t squared plus 14t minus 10. And then, if there's an answer to this, then it reaches the height, right? If my discriminant is 0 above, it'll reach it. So let's do it. I put b equals, I'm just going to say b squared minus 4ac. Here's our discriminant. B squared minus 4ac. B squared is, what is that, 14? So I'm going to say 14 squared minus 4 times a, which we got is negative 4.9 times ac, so negative 10. Alright. I know 14 squared is 196, but you know what? Let me put it over where you can see it. I got a little calculator here. I'm going to go 4 times 4.9 times 10. Oh, what are the chances? A negative 196, so 0. So because of the discriminant, there's one solution. And yes, it reaches it. It reaches that height, just barely, right? That height. And we're going to write height over here. Doesn't stay there very long, kind of touches it and goes back down. Let's do another one. A person created wants to create a vegetable garden to keep rabbits enclosed and enclose it by 100 feet of fencing. The area of garden is given by this, where W is the width. Can the garden have an area of 700 feet squared? All right, well, let's put 700 over here where the output is. We'll see if that can be equal to, and let's go ahead and distribute this. That's negative W squared, positive 50W. You see all I did is distribute right there. Negative W squared, positive 50W. We'll subtract 700 minus 700. And we get 0 equals negative W squared plus 50W minus 700. I'm going to say what A is. A is negative 1, B is 50, and C equals negative 700. I should have pointed that out above, and I'm really sorry. I should have kind of pointed out where everything came from. A, B, and C. So let's do the discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. So B squared is 50 squared, so I'm going to go 50 squared minus 4 times A, which is negative 1, times C, which is negative 700. Alright. And 50 times 50 is 2, 5 with 2, 0. 3 negatives makes a negative, and this is negative 2800, right? That's just 4 times 700. And we get a negative 300, which tells us negative, I check up top, negative has no solutions that are real, so we're going to say no real solutions, because we're not really interested in imaginary solutions right now. So no real solutions. We got one more, I think. We're going to end this video and do something else. Alright. A hobbyist is making a toy sailboat for a triangular sail. She wants the height H in inches to be twice the length of the base B in inches. Can the area of the sail be 10 inches? Oh, that's a great question. Here we go. So here we go. Hobbyist is making a tiny sailboat for a triangular sail. She wants the height H in inches to be twice the length B in inches. Alright, so if I was gonna do this, I think this is actually a kind of ridiculous question, because if they don't give you a limit, you're gonna find that it can be any height at all, but we're gonna go through it anyway. So the height is twice the base. I'm gonna call that 2B. I'm gonna call the base B. Height is twice the base. We know that area is equal to base times height. Alright, base times height. We know the height is 2B. And then it wants to know if the area can be 10. So 10 equals 2B squared. Alright, if I multiply those together, subtract 10, and I get 2B squared minus 10, alright, equals my area. So we're going to take the, we'll say 0. We just subtracted 10. Let's keep the equation the way it was. Alright. So here my A is equal to 2, my B is equal to 0, it doesn't exist, and my C is equal to negative 10. So I'll plug it in. B squared minus 4AC. B squared is 0 squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is negative 10. Well, 0 squared is 0, and this all makes 80. So my answer is 80. That means yes. Alright. We're going to come and do quadratic formula very soon, but we're going to pause this and call it the discriminant, or page 1 of day 2. See you guys soon.